Hello, and welcome to Lore Theory. This is the second installment of the Modern Mythology series. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more like it, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let's jump right into it with a story about Zephyr, the god of the west wind. After a beautiful summer, the days were beginning to grow shorter again. It was often said that in this city, just before the summer's final breath, one might catch sight of Zephyr riding the winds, guiding great ships into port. This is the tale of a young man who did quite a bit more than that. After the final bell rang in the mill, Xander was exhausted, as he always was at this time of day. No matter how he slept or what he ate, he always seemed to end up right back in the same place. From work, he stopped at the market to pick up food for his grandmother and his parents. After tending to his family, he then stopped to see a friend before finally going home. As always, he made his dinner, and then after eating, it was all he could do to then clean up and begin to read before sleep took him away. The next morning, he awoke with a familiar weight hanging around in his chest, as was seemingly its favorite custom this time of day. Though on his way to the mill, he stopped to watch the ship sailing into port. He smiled, watching the gulls, until he noticed something larger, a shape. Perhaps a large eagle gliding on the breeze, he thought. Then realizing he'd been standing there too long, he raced off to make the first bell, missing it by just a moment. However, this wasn't the first time, but it would be the last. Walking away, as 100 harsh thoughts rushed through his mind, Xander wandered off towards the great cliffs overlooking the harbor. Darkness having overtaken thought, he found himself romanticizing the fall to the waves, sparkling in the sun as they gently kissed the smooth rocks below. A strong breeze rose from the west and gently pressed him back away from the edge. That wouldn't be worth it. A warm voice spoke, seemingly from just behind him. Jumping and nearly losing his balance. "Who is it sneaking up on me? I could have slipped." "You nearly did anyway, didn't you?" Xander's jaw went slack, reeling from the truth of the remark. The voice continued. "I see you've been blown about for a long time. Don't you think it's past due that you learn to sail?" Replied the voice, though it seemed it was far off now. "Sail? I've never been a man of the sea. I can enjoy a moment as I watch the ships come and go, but I think what I admire about them is not so much where they go, though they go all around the world. But on their way, many face epic storms and challenges of all kinds. And yet they go, and still return, just to go again." A shadow coming over him. "Where are you? Show yourself, or leave me be," Xander roared, balling a fist as his face reddened and his eyes began to glisten. "I don't have time for anything else to go wrong today." The breeze slowed, and Xander felt a hand on his shoulder. He turned swiftly to see a man with a beautiful countenance and soft skin that seemed to give off a faint glow. His eyes glinted like the sunlight reflecting off the waves, as he said, "Ah, mortals, you never have time for anything worthwhile, but you can always find a way to waste your day in such exquisite suffering." Xander fell backwards, recalling immediately the legend of Zephyr, whom ushered in the springtime, the master of the west wind. Before he could hit the ground, another strong breeze came up from behind, slowing him and setting him down gently. Watch the ships as they sail, but do not just watch them. Understand what moves them. The winds bend not to the whims of mortals. However, a mortal can make use of the forces available to them. It can be done, though as with sailing, the path may often seem to wander. Xander looked up at the god a moment and muttered, "I don't think that there's enough wind in my life for me to fill my sails again." Zephyr laughed warmly and said, "You humans so easily forget the gift you were given, and at the great peril of the giver, no less. The only wind you need blows about the flame you were given at birth, the fire that burns in your breast. It takes time. The sensation of this inner light is diminished in most. Any sense left unused will atrophy. But find it and learn to sail in life. Then you will find a way into a future far beyond today and the edge of this cliff." At that, the wind blew so hard that Xander was forced to shut his eyes, though it dried them too. The wind slowed, and he opened his eyes again. Zephyr had disappeared from sight, but as Xander peered out over the waves, he felt a warm breeze brush reassuringly across his face. Over the following months, Xander began to search for his inner fire. He found another job to stabilize himself, and he found too that he felt much better the more he gave all of himself to everything he did. He made more time to read, and more he learned of passions of which he'd never considered. In a few years, he'd grown into a man whom took every challenge as it came, and lived in the moment, turning hardship and defeat into strength and wisdom, victory and success into confidence and joy. All of these became experience, and he used them to navigate his life. Xander never did see Zephyr again, though whenever a warm breeze would rise in the west, he would smile and recall his friend. Thank you so much to everyone who's made it to this point. So what did you think? Can any of you relate to Xander? Please leave any thoughts and opinions you all have in the comments below. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, I hope you all make the best of your day. Remember, rather than struggle against what is, we can find a way to use it to propel us forward.